Oh no, here we go. You excited? Yeah, me too. I'm excited too. Go home. Start living a new life. Hopefully. Good afternoon, everybody. I am back and better than ever. Yes. So I'm home from hospital. I thought I'd come on and let everybody who's waiting to know about my ketamine infusion, how it went, how it all went, how I pulled up, how I'm feeling, what I've been doing in this week home. So today's Friday and I went in last Wednesday on the 11th for 5 days. So ketamine infusion is a beta blocker, which is pain blocker. So basically makes it sound like all the pain's in your head, but it's not. So what it does is it blocks out all the pain, and it can last up to 7 months. So what I wanted to do first is go through all the side effects and get stuck straight into it. Now, the side effects for me personally, the only thing that happened to me that was, I guess, a side effect was my blood pressure was erratic, nothing drastic, manageable. I had a half hour to hour observation, so blood pressure was up and down. Then I had one panic attack where Glenn needed to come in and settle me down, and I had to give me my Xanax basically to calm me down. I just your thoughts sort of get away with you on the wrong thing, and then before I knew it, I was in a full-blown panic attack that I had nurses and doctors running. So other than those two things, I really didn't suffer any side effects. I wasn't nauseous, I didn't throw up, I didn't have any delusions or hallucinations. I wanted to keep the note that my daughter wrote for me. I've got it over there, I'll grab it in a minute, but I'll just go through all the side effects of a ketamine infusion. Now, I'm not saying that this is for everyone, but there's a lot of people over in fibroflare, it's a bit of a tongue twister, fibroflare and aware, that are kind of keen to hear how it all went. So these are the side effects if you don't already know. Okay, so fast heart rate, high blood pressure, which I did have, like I said, it was up and down, involuntary quivering, speaking, making sounds with the voice, I don't know what that means really, confused, delirium, hallucinations, mood changes. So I guess that panic attack did result from a mood change, because I was like sort of fine 1 minute, and then I sort of just rolled over in the bed and I wanted to cover myself over, and I put the blanket over my head, and there was a lady opposite me who had had a stroke, which is a bit close to home for me because the girl's dad had a stroke. So I was really emotional about watching that for 5 days. So that kind of started it off, because I was upset and emotional for her, because she was upset all the time. And then it sort of just rolled on from there. And I was, before I knew it, within 10 minutes, I was on a full-blown panic attack. So, mood changes, nightmares, didn't have any nightmares at all. Abnormally low blood pressure, decreased lung function, slow heartbeat, throwing up, abnormal increased muscle tone. Well, I say go that, yeah, I need muscle tone. These guns need pumping up. So I was like, yeah, if I can have some muscle tone, that'd be bonus, not a side effect. Anyway, redness of skin. I have, as you guys know, I've had skin cancer, and consequently my neck is always red now. And every time a new nurse came on, they were like, "Is that redness meant to be there?" And I'm like, "That's my skin cancer scars, it's okay." And they're, "Oh, okay." They were so on the ball. Like, the nurses at the Frankston Hospital, absolutely, bar one nurse, or maybe two, because I've got something else I need to tell you as well, so, but that's aside from this, bar two nurses that were a little bit too neglectful, for something. The nurses were top notch, and they really looked after me, and they were on the ball for everything, like, especially one nurse, her name was Lynn. She was fantastic, and whenever I heard she was on, I was like, oh yes, Lynn's here, great. Moving along, spasm of the larynx, abnormal heart rhythm, inflammation of the bladder, which I read in another one that can also go on to a UTI as well. So, yeah. Life-threatening allergic reaction, periods of not breathing, double vision, feel like throwing up, so you don't actually throw up, you feel like you're going to throw up. Increased pressure in the eye, involuntary eye movements, loss of appetite, and a rash, which is why they were checking my chest all the time. And then signs and symptoms at the injection site. So that I did have actually. So what they do, it's called a subcut, and it goes into the subcutaneous part of your muscle in your abdominal stomach area. So first they put it into this side, and it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. It's just a really, really fine plastic tubing, and there's a little needle in that helps it go through, and then they pull it out, they tape it up, and it is so much better than having an IV, like you know, in your hands or up here. Oh, your hands are free to do whatever you want, and it's just so much better. So the pain, the injection site. So it was day 3 or 4, it started to get a little bit redder than they'd like. So they just took it out, they put it into the other side. So I had that for the rest of the time. But then day 5, the morning of day 5, that was starting to get redder than this side, and also painful. So because I was going home around, I ended up going home around like 1 o'clock. So they actually, because it was red and sore to move and stuff, they took it out quite early. So that was fine, and no big deal. I mean, not for me anyway. So as far as the hospital stay goes and going through the actual procedure, out of 10 I would rate it an 8 or a 9. Experience wise, I was a lot more nervous than I needed to be, that is for sure. The hardest part for me was missing the girls and missing Chap. And Chap, God bless him, he's here somewhere, he's over there asleep. He didn't cope well at all, poor little bubba. So how do I feel now compared to how I was feeling when I went into hospital? Alright, so I went into hospital with a pain rate of 10. Just walking from the car park into the hospital and up to the ward, I had broken out in a sweat, I was exhausted, I was in pain, and honestly it was a great day for me to be actually going in and getting it started, because I didn't always have pain of a 10, but the last 2 days leading up to going into hospital, I was in a lot of pain. I was very sweaty from, that's one of the side effects from fibromyalgia, is you get your body doesn't know how to regulate temperature, so I broke out in the sweat a lot, like quite easily and stuff like that. So the last 2 days before hospital I was quite in a lot of pain, so went in at a 10. They very quickly got me down by increasing the ketamine. So you start at 5 milligrams per hour and they work it up in 5 milligram increments. So by the end of day 1 I was already up to 15. Then the doctor came day 2 or 3 and he said, oh, it was the Friday he came actually, yeah, so day 3. He said, I don't want her sitting on 20 all weekend. I want you to make sure you put it up. Even though my pain was only at a 3 by Friday, he still wanted it to be increased, because I think his plan was to get my pain to 0 upon leaving. Well, that didn't happen for me personally. It might for you, because you'll have different doctors, different hospital, stuff like that. So for me, I think they should have probably increased. You can go up to 60 milligrams an hour per hour, so 60, and I only got to 30. So I left the hospital with a pain level of about 3, but my God, was I moving. So every day I would, I don't know if any of you know, but I am a smoker. My doctors are very dubious about me quitting. They want me, they want me to quit, and then they say you've got too much on your plate. Don't try. I did try to quit late last year, early this year. While I was in hospital, I did fantastic. My doctor wrote up for me to be allowed to go downstairs 3 times a day. I was so happy with that. Like, normally doctors would be like, you can't go and have a smoke. Well, if I don't go for a walk, how can I monitor? I mean, it didn't have to include a smoke, I know, but he allowed me to walk downstairs 3 times a day, and with that I was able to monitor where my pain level was at, how far I could walk before feeling exhausted, and things like that. So I highly recommend, even if you don't smoke, if you do go in, ask to be unhooked at least 3 times a day, to go for a walk, to have your shower, to get yourself dressed, so that you can monitor where your pain levels are at, your exhaustion and things like that. Although the doctor said to me on the Friday, he was boss man, this doctor, he was like boss man, but lovely bedside manner. He said, I'm not unsympathetic towards your pain, towards your exhaustion, but I'm dealing with your pain. The exhaustion is something separate altogether. And I actually didn't really think of that. Like, I felt exhausted and pain, so I married the two, but actually you need to separate the two. It was really hard at first to go, am I feeling exhausted or am I in pain? So I had to separate the two, and I had to say, apart from feeling exhausted, am I in pain when I move? So you need to be able to go for a walk to monitor that. So don't let them hook you up and just leave you in bed for 5 days. Ask to be unhooked. Ask to go for a walk so that you can let them know, yep, I'm still in pain, it needs to be increased. I know the first 3 days I was there, getting up and having a shower and going for a walk, I was not better. I was exhausted. I fell asleep for like 2 or 3 hours till lunchtime. Yeah, the first 3 days it wasn't enough. Like, if that doctor hadn't come on the Friday and said increase it, don't let her sit on such a low amount, I don't think I'd have even got to 30. So really push for what you know your body's going through. Like, if you legit, even if your pain's a 1, say, yes, I can still feel pain, because otherwise you're going to end up leaving still with a pain of 3, 4, who knows. So really push for it to be increased, because the nurses will not do it if you don't let them know that you're still feeling pain. They won't increase it. The nurses didn't seem too keen to put that ketamine too high. So make sure you speak up if you're able. The other good thing about a ketamine infusion too is that you have an option to opt out. You can say, I've had enough, take it out. If you're suffering too much with too many of the side effects, if you can push through it, because I can tell you right now, I'm going to tell you how I've been since I've been home next, but if you can push through those side effects that you might be going, like if it's just throwing up, I really encourage you to push through. So hospital was great, got up to 30 mils an hour, left hospital leaving in about a 3, but I left and I walked up, not down, up 4 flights of stairs in front of Glenn, a full flight each time to the car. I was nearly running, like legit nearly running, and gee, fibromites will know how exciting that is. So each day I felt myself getting better, and I was able to walk further, and I was able to not feel so exhausted and in pain when I got back to the bed, and every day got better. And then when the day I left, I was like, I just walked up 4 flights of stairs. Like, oh my god, guys, it's got to be the most exciting thing to happen to me in 10 years, because I've had fibro 10 years now, so absolutely incredible. But like I said, don't just lay there in hospital for the 5 days and not go for walks. Test out your limits, let them know where you're at, speak up, let them know what you want. So coming home, I was so excited to get home. Felt like I'd been away for a month, and it was only 5 days, but it's actually the longest I've ever left my girls. My eldest is 16, and I've never left her for 5 days ever, and couldn't imagine doing that. Like, for me to do that, it's got to be something as serious as this, hospital stay, something like that, for me to do it, because I just won't leave my girls. I just won't. Obviously they've been on camps and stuff like that, but that's different. So I came home, I sat down in my chair, I had a cup of tea, I had a smoke, and we all just chatted away for the afternoon, and Glenn did dinner, and I wanted to get up, and I wanted to clean this house. Like, oh my god, like I said, it was like I was living in this house. I thought it was clean, but it's like I had blinders on, and I couldn't see the filth, the mess, the unorganised. So I've actually spent the whole week cleaning my house, because that's what's important to me. And I've also been monitoring myself each day, seeing how much I can do. So after I got home that next day, so that would have been Tuesday, I got up out of bed like a normal person. I just sat up, put my legs over the side of the bed. To compare to how I was, I used to get up out of bed. I would roll onto my side, and then sometimes I would roll onto the floor on my knees, and then slowly get up off my knees, because everything's so stiff and sore and hurting. But Tuesday morning I sat up, I put my feet over the side of the bed, and I stood up, and I was like, I can move! That was so cool. So then out for a cup of tea. Actually, I had a coffee and brekkie, and by I think 11 o'clock, because we always sit around, school holidays for us still, and we all get up and we all just sit around talking. Like, we love to just sit around as a family and just yak, and then by the time you look at the time, it's lunchtime, it's time to get started. So day one, like Tuesday, I can't even remember the amount of stuff I got done. I got more done in one day than I've got done in a month prior to this. So, but it's taken me all week to work through each of the rooms. I mean, I think it was yesterday or the day before that I did the bathroom top to bottom. I mean, talking walls, skirting boards, mirror, like shower, mirror, bath, the works. Cleaned, mopped, like not just a tidy, a proper clean. Then toilet, same thing, proper clean. Then I'm still washing, and oh my god guys, I actually was able to peg up loads and loads of washing on the clothesline. Normally I cannot do this because it hurts through here. So I got clothes pegged on the line, I got the bathroom, laundry, toilet cleaned up, my bedroom's clean. Glenn did help me yesterday, because by yesterday I was starting to feel a little bit tired and a little bit sore, but that's because I pushed myself so hard this week to get this house cleaned up. So outside's been done, the yards have been done, my bedroom's been done, the lounge room's cleaned up. We've still got the dining room to go, and a little bit of washing, but oh my god, the amount of stuff I've got done this week to clean and tidy and organise things so that they're not looking dusty and cluttered. Incredible, absolutely incredible. I'm so excited at how I feel, and every day I wake up, Glenn asks me, "How you feeling?" And I'm like, great, I feel really good. I do still have pain, guys, I do, because like I said, I left the hospital with about 3. Glenn and I both agreed that I shouldn't have left with any pain. I should have pushed for that ketamine to be increased. So, depending on how long I get out of this, if I don't push myself into the gutter first, because I'm so excited about being able to move and do things, depending on how long I get out of it, I would definitely go back. If I get under 3 months, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it for only 3 months. But that would depend how bad I've crashed and how bad the pain comes back again, because it's 5 days. It's a long time to be away from the girls, and yeah, I don't know. I'd have to wait and see. I don't think I could give you an honest answer just yet. But yeah, fantastic experience, fantastic outcome. Now, how did I get this ketamine infusion? So what happened was, obviously, GP let him know. Okay, so if I only got a referral, you can just go and ask for a referral if you've been going to your GP already and saying, I'm in pain, I'm not coping, blah, blah, blah. Referral to my local hospital to see the pain specialist at the local hospital. Now, I don't know if everyone's going to have an option of going through the public system to wait to see a pain specialist at your local hospital, but you need to see, even if it's private. I have seen a private pain specialist and got nowhere with that. Nowhere. Like, nothing came of it at all. And so I went to the local hospital through Medicare. I waited 6 months, because when I went and saw the pain specialist, I told him, you know, truthfully, with tears and anguish, I'm in pain, I have no quality of life, I can't, you know, and I pushed the fact that I've got 2 teenage girls that I need to be able to get up for and be there for and go do things with them. And that's the most upsetting part for me, is that I'm only 43 and I can't go, and I couldn't go out and do things with the girls that they want to do. So then he put my case as urgent, bless his soul. I can't promise that whoever you see is going to do the same, but if you let them know how much pain you're in and how it affects your life, I'm sure they'll do their best to get you seen soon. So he recommended the ketamine infusion for me, for sure, and I only waited, like I said, 6 months. And to me, for the public system, that is quick. That is quick for pain management. So I feel very blessed, actually, to have got in so quickly. And I hope that you guys, if you're going to give it a go, you don't have to wait too long, because it's very exciting. It's really exciting. I don't have to sit around in my chair all day and go, oh, 3 o'clock, I haven't done anything, because I can't. So Now I get up, have my brekkie. Today, because I've had such a huge week cleaning, I was in pain, so my medication I took before Ketamine was Tramadol, and I can only take Tramadol. That's the only one that my body will tolerate, and all the other higher ones I can't take them. So I usually just used to have two Tramadol in the morning, and then for breakthrough pain I would have Panadine Extra and Panadol Osteo. That's all I used to have. The nurses and the doctors all said to me, you're not on much medication at all. I said, that's because my body won't tolerate it. So I was actually quite nervous as to how my body would tolerate the ketamine, being as it's such a strong drug. So today, and one other time since I've been home, I had 150 Tramadol to help with the pain. Now, that's not every day. I haven't done that every day since I've been home at all. Still struggling with energy. Like I said, the doctor said your exhaustion is different from your pain. So I'm still struggling a little bit with energy, so I'm having supplements. I can't find my vitamin B tablets. I don't know where they've gone. I've lost so much stuff since I've come home. So many things have just... I lost all my jewellery. I couldn't find my jewellery. Anyway, so I'm just taking supplements, vitamin B complex, magnesium. My Xanax is a must-have. I can't not have that. That's it. And if I have pain, like I know why I had pain today, and the pain I had today it wasn't a 10, and it wasn't with the sweating and the exhaustion. Just a little bit tired and probably a 5 pain. So I think that's pretty good because I've had a huge week. Now, the next thing I want to try and do is crack out the kayaks and go for a kayak. I want to see how I can cope with that. And because actually we all went out on Wednesday. That's right. Wednesday. And it doesn't matter. We all went out as a family since I've been home. And no one could keep up with me. Like, everyone was like, you know, 2 or 3 feet behind me. And I was looking around going, what's going on here? Like, I'm in front of the family. Like, Glenn's like, hang on, I want to hold your hand. Because we always hold hands when we're out. And he's like, come back. So, I mean, I wasn't doing it to be a smart ass or show off or anything. That's just, it was exciting for me to be able to walk at that pace when normally I walk like, I don't know, like an older person. I don't want to say anything rude about older people. Yeah, probably walk like a 80-year-old, I guess, before the Ketamine. Quite slow. Hold a lot of people up. Yeah, so I'm feeling fantastic. I'm feeling really great. And I'm glad I did it, even though I was really nervous. There's not a lot to be nervous about. Now, just because I didn't have a lot of side effects, it doesn't mean you're not going to. So you need to weigh it up for yourself, for your family, for your pain, and make the decision for yourself. I'm just sharing my experience and what I went through, but I would definitely recommend, if your pain levels are out of control to the point where you've got no quality of life left, you can't get out and about, maybe once a week, which is what I was doing, once a week to go shopping. Your house is not the way you would like it because you can't. I would definitely recommend going to see a pain specialist and ask about Ketamine, and it's K-E-T. Let me spell it. K-E-T-A-M-I-N-E. Ketamine Infusion. So guys, that about wraps up my little update on the Ketamine Infusion. I'm going to be putting up another vlog next of a little surprise that I had for when I came home. I'll leave that for the next vlog. I was just realising that there's a lot of you guys out there that don't have a lot of support from family. Fortunately for me, I had 100% support from my partner and from my daughters, and they are all three so excited for me to have a better quality of life back. And I'm just thinking, I'm wondering how you guys who don't have the support of your direct family are going to manage to go through without the support of family. I guess I will just have to leave that up to you guys to work out. I do have family that are not supportive, don't get me wrong, it's just not the direct three that live with me. Don't let anybody persuade you. It's your body, it's your life. If they can't see what you're going through and they can't understand the pain you're in, you need to just go, alright, that's your problem, that's your issue, this is my life. I've got to make a choice for myself. And if that means staying in hospital for 5 days without the support of them, it's going to be really tough, because part of my panic attack was the fact that I didn't have my extended family around me while I was in hospital. And it's the first time I've ever been in hospital without my side of my family around or visiting, and that's why I had a panic attack, because none of my family speak to me. So that wasn't good for me. That wasn't good. You just have to make a decision, guys, for yourself, and know that it's the right thing. And remember too, you can, if you're in hospital and it's not, you're not coping, just remember you can say, I've had enough, take it out. So if you do have any more questions that I haven't covered, please leave a comment down below and I definitely will answer you, for sure. So I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. I love you all very much. I've missed vlogging so much. I didn't vlog a lot in hospital, as you could see. It was really awkward, actually, to talk to a camera while you've got 3 other sick people around you. My room was full, so I had a lady there, the lady who had a stroke there, and then I had a couple of guys come in and out from this side. So bit awkward, not quite ready for that sort of stuff yet, but I vlogged what I could. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope it's been informative enough for you. Like I said, if you've got questions, please put them in the comments. Don't be shy, I'll answer you, no probs. And I will catch. Anyway, guys, this has been a really long video. I've had a lot of technical difficulties. I wanted to use my big SLR, so I put that on first and batteries died. Then I put my little Sony up, and the memory was full, and then I was saying goodbye and the battery died, so now I just have to swap batteries as well. So I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna say goodbye. I love you. I hope you have really enjoyed this video. It's taken me all week to get here and to put on a face for you guys, to tell you all about my experience with a Ketamine infusion. So please give it a big thumbs up and share it with all your fibro friends, please, so they can also watch it. I love you all, guys, so much, and I will see you all very soon.